What is up, YouTube? So I thought I'd just talk a little bit quick about the brand new MacBook Pros, which comes in a 14-inch and a 16-inch variant. And the main key things here that is interesting about this brand new update is that we are getting a card slot back, the SDXC card slot. So if you can recall, on the current MacBook Pro 16-inch that came out late 2019, they removed the card slot, but now it is basically returning. And also what's returning is an HDMI port. You have also what's returning is a MagSafe 3 port. So instead of charging your MacBook Pro with USB Type-C, we're going back to MagSafe 3 again, which is kind of nice. And then you have 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports that is basically USB-C, which is very nice. So here you can also see kind of like the design of it, and it looks beautiful. What is a little bit sad though is it's kind of expensive. So if you start off here, you can see that we have the new Apple M1 Pro chip, and they have 2 different variants here. First, you do have the M1 Pro chip, and then you have M1 Max chip. And obviously M1 Max is the maxed out one, where you get a 32 core GPU, 16 core Neural Engine, and 400 gigabyte memory bandwidth. But you have the same kind of processor on all of them, a 10 core CPU with 8 performance cores and 2 efficiency cores. But yeah, 32 core GPU versus just a 16 core GPU with the standard M1 Pro chip. These new MacBook Pros are very expensive actually. So the cheapest model starts at $2,500, and then they have a $2,700 one, and then the M1 maxed out one, it costs $3,500. Comes in 2 colors here, silver and space gray. And as you can see here, it also comes with a notch. So you do have a notch where the camera is. It's a 1080p webcam. That comes with a notch, something that you don't have on the current MacBook Pro 16-inch variant. There's basically no notch to it. What else here is it that's kind of interesting? Oh yeah, you can configure it here. The M1 maxed out, it can go up to 24 core GPU or 32 core GPU, and yeah. So 24 core GPU should cost a little bit less. The screen is a 16.2 inch display on the large phone, or on the largest model of the MacBook Pro, and it's a Liquid Retina XDR display. What else is it that's kind of interesting here? Yeah, the standard MacBook Pro here goes with 16 gigabytes of memory, and you do get up to 30, or on the M1 Max you can go up to 64 gigabytes of memory, and the standard there on the M1 Max is 32 gigabytes of memory. Fairly good battery life, up to 21 hours of Apple TV, up to 14 hours wireless web, USB-C power adapter, 140 watt USB-C power adapter, sounds pretty good as well. And also USB-C to MagSafe 3 cable can be kind of good there to know. And the standard M1 starts at 512 gigabytes of SSD, and you get 1 terabyte SSD on the M1 Max, and you can go all the way up to 8 terabytes of SSD, which is kind of cool. And is there anything more key thing that you need to know? Oh yeah, they have also removed the touch bar, so there's no longer a touch bar at the top. It seems like you still get the fingerprint scanner, but they have replaced the touch bar with physical keys again. And it seems like the keyboard is an all black keyboard, something that you don't have on the current MacBook Pro, where it's a combination of silver in the background and just black keys. But here it seems like the background is also going to be all black. Bluetooth 5.0, obviously. 1080p FaceTime HD camera can be kind of good there to know. And is there anything more that's interesting? A little bit of a size. size comparison, Mac OS obviously, and the built-in apps are pretty much standard from what you see usually from Apple. 16-inch MacBook Pro, 140 watt USB-C power adapter, and yeah, a 2-meter long cable, USB-C to MagSafe 3 cable. So, oh yeah, you're plugging in USB Type-C in the power adapter, and then you plug in the MagSafe 3 inside of the computer. So you're still using USB Type-C on one side, basically. So the fully maxed out edition would be an M1 Max, 10-core CPU and 32-core GPU, and the 64 gigabytes of memory inside, combined with an 8 terabyte of SSD drive. So yeah, that's basically it about the brand new MacBook Pros. Pretty maxed out, I would say. But if you're still running on, I mean, the core thing here that is changed with this new MacBook Pros is basically that you do have more ports that are coming back, like the HDMI port, the MagSafe 3 port, and then obviously you have DisplayPort, and yeah. So it's mainly the ports that has been upgraded, and that the maxed out edition can go pretty intense. I mean, 8 terabyte, that is pretty intense. That's a lot of storage, basically. So yeah, just a quick little video talking a little bit about that. Hopefully you do have an awesome day, and hopefully I will see you all in the next video.